What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be back to work on our 2018 Dodge Ram. If you've seen the latest video, we got mostly everything painted out over here and we put the entire interior back together, but we were waiting on the seat belts and we finally got those in, so we're going to be installing them. But before we get started on that, today's video is sponsored by Private Internet Access. Well, Private Internet Access is a VPN service, and if you don't know what a VPN is a service that basically hides your IP address, encrypts your connection, and keeps you away from all the prying eyes online. So the reason why I use a VPN is I was actually hacked in the past and it absolutely sucked. They took some data, but it wasn't that bad, and now I use a VPN every time I search the internet. Now let me show you guys how easy Private Internet Access is to use. So we've downloaded the app onto our iPad, but the cool thing about Private Internet Access is it works on mostly all devices and platforms, and you can run up to 10 devices simultaneously. Now let's go ahead and open up the app and see how it works. So we've opened up the app, we've already signed in, and basically all we have is a server list right here. We have all the servers to choose from. We've chosen a server close to us, which means it's a US Atlanta server. Let's go ahead and press the red button, and bam, we are connected to the server, and it also hides and cloaks our IP address so nobody will be able to use any of our data or steal any of it. And it's just that easy to use and stay secured. So it's just that simple. To press the one button secures your IP address and lets you browse the internet safely. And the coolest thing is, if you're in a country that restricts certain websites or geo-blocking, you can use a server in the US and you'll get through all of those restrictions. And if you want to surf the internet safe and secure, Private Internet Access is for you. Private Internet Access is also offering you guys 3 months free, and if you don't like it for some reason, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So head over to privateinternetaccess.com/vTuned or click the link in the description down below to get yourself nice and secured. Now let's get back to the Ram build. So the first thing we're going to do is actually go ahead and put our seat belts in. We have a package here from Safety Restore. They hooked it up. Let's go ahead and see what we have inside. There it is, safetyrestore.com. They do all our seatbelts, so if you guys ever need anything done, any seatbelts restored or the color changed or even a module reset, just go ahead and check them out at safetyrestore.com. Now here is our seatbelts. We have 2 of them, and then we should have a module somewhere. Yep, module is right here. So let's go ahead and put all this stuff in the truck. So we got both seatbelts installed. Now it's time to install the module. We also went ahead and took the batteries off just so we don't short anything out when we're plugging up this module. So let's go ahead and install it. So we got the airbag module installed. Now let's go ahead and put the center console back in. So we got everything back together on the truck, and we do actually have some pretty dope hats on the website right now. So head over to vTuned.com if you want to copy one. But we did get the entire interior back together. It will need a full detail because it is pretty dirty. Now what we're going to do is actually start working on our new doors right here. We have the front one and then the rear one. We do have some kind of weird little dents on here. I'm guessing that happened on shipping or something like that, but they're super small. They're going to be super easy to fix. So let's go ahead and fix these dents, and we'll get them sanded and get them in the paint booth. So we're gonna get started with these dents right here. They're super minor, so all we're gonna have to do is sand it up lightly and throw some glazing filler on there. So let's go ahead and do that. So we got all the bodywork done on this door, but before we throw any primer down on it, I'm gonna go ahead and sand the entire door with a 600 grit and the DA sander. Before we do any priming, it's just gonna work out a lot better. So let's go ahead and sand both doors. We got the door all nice and sanded. Now we're gonna grab some primer and prime it in real quick. So we got both doors in primer. We had a little small spot on the other door, but this one is all good. And now we're just gonna wait for it to dry, sand it up. And I'm actually gonna paint all this because I'm been learning how to paint. We painted the bumpers, those turned out pretty good. Now these are gonna be some bigger panels, so hopefully it turns out all well. So let's go ahead and get this all sanded and we'll take it into the paint booth. So we finished sanding all the parts. We got them in the paint booth. We hung up these two doors, and then we put the fender on the stand. Now what we need to do is go ahead and clean it. We'll mix up some sealer and start spraying it in. So we got the doors nice and clean. We first cleaned them with some wax and grease remover, and then we used some final clean, which is basically like window cleaner is what we use, and it just works awesome. So we got all that nice and clean. Now let's go mix up some sealer and seal in the doors. So we have the sealer mixed up. Let's go ahead and spray it down. So we got the sealer down in the paint booth on all the parts. Now let's go mix up the base coat. So we're gonna be using the Sickens Auto Base Coat Clear, and CarQuest was kind enough to hook us up with that. Some of the best paint we've ever used at the shop. Let's go ahead and put it in the cup and get it on those parts. So we got the paint mixed up. We're gonna do 2 coats of base coat and then 2 coats of clear coat. So before we actually go ahead and start spraying the base coat, we got this tack rag right here, and what it is, it's like a sticky rag, and it's to make sure we don't have any trash on it. So we're gonna wipe everything down on this one and that one. So let's go ahead and do that. So when I was wiping it down, I actually noticed a little spot right here. I'm guessing that came out of the gun. So what we're gonna do is grab some 800 grit sandpaper and take care of that real quick. And it's always good to catch these things before you go into base coat and then clear coat, because after that it's too late. So let's sand that little nib off and throw this base coat down. So we got all the base coat laid down. Now all we have to do is mix up some clear coat and throw it on the parts and they'll be done. Now all we got is 2 coats of clear and we should be good. So we got the doors nice and painted, and surprisingly for my first time painting a big old door like this, it turned out pretty good. There is some orange peel, but what I didn't want to do is make a lot of runs, and surprisingly we don't have any runs on the door, but we can obviously buff it out and it'll make it look really good. And the front door turned out awesome too. This piece turned out awesome, and the fender, and I guess I'll catch you guys tomorrow when everything dries up. So it's the next day here at the shop. We got everything painted. Let's go ahead and get these doors on the truck. So we got both doors on the truck. We're definitely gonna have to wet sand and buff them out and polish them. I'm not too sure why they turned out a little bit too orange peel, but that's okay because it'll just be a little bit of sanding. Now let's go ahead and throw on the fender and then we'll start putting together the front end. All right, guys, so we got both doors on. They open and close beautifully. Everything lined up awesome. We are still missing a couple of things on the door, so we can't put those together yet. And we also are missing this bracket that goes right here that holds the fender, and we can't put anything else on in the front end before we get all that together. But hopefully in the next video, we'll get all these parts ordered and the whole truck will be completely done, because we're only missing a couple of things. We were mostly focusing on this Mustang, and this thing is just so much freaking work. And that's kind of, this thing got put on the back burner. And a lot of you guys were also asking about the E30 build. It's actually my brothers. They have a YouTube channel called Motorhead, so go ahead and check them out if you want to. They're actually swapping a S2000 engine with a turbo on it into there, so go ahead and check that out if you want to. So that's gonna be a wrap for today's video. We got some work done on the truck. We didn't get as much as I wanted to, but we were missing those key components, so we can't put the front end together or the doors, but that's gonna be that. And in the next video, we will put everything together. We'll get everything ordered. We'll get this thing done. Kind of just set that off. And we also have all our new body panels for our Mustang, so we can hurry up and finish this thing up. But that's gonna be it. And we do have some cool shirts and hats on the website, so go ahead and check that out at vTuned.com. Follow me on Instagram at vTuned. Thanks for watching.